Hello and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot. This latest reading is Let Me Gas You Up, with compliments, that is. So basically, this reading is about what you are doing positively in your life, like what you are doing well, what you are excelling in, what has like sort of been your long-term natural gifts, or even newer gifts that you've developed lately. So just a positive reading about what you're doing well in various aspects of your life. So pick one of the cards. We've got, or one of the piles. We've got pile number 1, the purple flashlight pile. Number 2, the orange flashlight pile. And number 3, the yellow flashlight pile. So make your selection and let's get started. And also, one thing you may want to reflect on is how you feel when you're receiving positive news or compliments about yourself. A lot of people actually have difficulty receiving compliments and difficulty receiving other loving and kind energies. It's very interesting how that is the case. But that is the case sometimes. So reflect on, when listening to this reading, reflect on how you feel receiving compliments and good news and good positive affirmations about yourself. All right, let's get started. Hello, pile number 1. Let's see what compliments the universe wants to tell you about what you're doing well or about yourself in various aspects about your life. So the purple flashlight pile, pile number 1, the moon in reverse, 4 of pentacles upright, 3 of swords upright, and the 7 of swords upright. So I'm hearing that one thing that you've leveled up with is you really struggled with getting your own emotions. You really struggled with what I see for you is you have this very high spiritual, with the purple flashlight, you've got this very high spiritual energy, but you've had a very difficult time in this life, like sort of being bogged down into the, like I see that you're a spiritual being, right, with the purple flashlight, but I've heard you've had a very difficult time sort of being in this very dark, painful realm, if you will, right? This bringing that spiritual energy down. It's been very heartbreaking to you at times to see the sort of negative behaviors of people and just taking on the pain of the world. And I'm hearing that you've gotten in a lot of abusive situations of various sorts that has been or seen, either experienced them yourself or witnessed them, or a lot of people who have the painfulness of either witnessing or being a part of very abusive situations and having a lot of abusive energy vampires abuse your goodness and take advantage of that. So that's a very painful experience that you've had in this life. But I hear that you're transcending that, and you're transcending. I've heard you've had a very, very, very difficult time releasing the negative energies, but I hear that you will be meeting again with this spiritual energy again. And I hear that the compliment the universe wants to give you is that you're doing a very good job of transcending your negative emotions. The moon is the negative emotions. You've gone within. You've gone, some would think, you've gone very far, very deep into your emotional energy, and now it's like you're willing to like reach for that energy again, and sort of almost come full circle. And I hear that you've had quite a hard life in regards to sort of these painful interactions that you've had with other people, but now you're coming for a circle, and it's like you're ready to reach your spiritual self, which is yourself. Well, what was yourself before you were brought down into this very low realm? Or you not brought down, you chose to, but it can, feel sometimes like you were brought down to this painful realm. And what I hear is you're not going to allow you're very good at going within, going into the psychic realms, and you're very courageously releasing that pain from those experiences. And it's been very, very difficult for you, but I hear that you're 80% there, whatever there means, right? I mean, we're never fully alive, we never fully arrive, right? Because life is a journey, and the soul is always incarnating to various journeys. But I hear that you basically you've um you're releasing the pain, and I hear that you're creating. I hear there's been a lot of abusive, difficult people in your life, and it's like you had a lot of difficult, abusive people in your life, and it's been so painful, like the people who've taken from you, that have abused you in various ways, and they're like various ways, right? It doesn't always have to be obvious, but they've taken from you. But I hear that you're no longer willing to put up with that anymore. And I hear that another thing that you're doing, okay, first of all, you've been very courageous as a very high minded spiritual being to go down to this very dark realm, to bring your high energy into this painful realm, knowing the cost to you, almost the cost. So the universe wants to, the cost of, like, and I hear that in a lot of cases you've delved on some very heavy, bad circumstances in childhood, and it's sort of like, and you've had, but I hear that you're transcending that now, and I'm hearing them say, very good job for going into this realm, encountering such horrible people, and but then having the courage to release the pain. Like, it's sort of like when I see this image of you at this highest spiritual chakra, and then you went down to this lowest painful, all these horrible experiences, but now you're having the courage to go up to these high spiritual, like, energy, this purple spiritual energy again. So that's what I'm hearing that you've done, and that I'm hearing, but you've, after these painful experiences, you don't allow abusers, users, narcissists, psychopaths, all those kind of energies into your life. You're putting a strong boundary with that. You're going into the pain that has been caused in you, and you're releasing it. But you're not going. They're complimenting you on the courage you are to face the painful things in this realm, and having boundaries from them, and having boundaries, and also not allowing people to steal from you anymore, creating these boundaries, not allow. But I'm hearing that have complimenting you on, not fully, I mean, you may not feel this way right now, but it's sort of like, on not allowing them, the bad or horrible experiences, to completely jade you. Yes, I've heard they've had quite a negative impact, but they're not to allow them to completely jade you, and they compliment you for that, because it's not easy for a high spiritual being to go into the darkest depths. It's like you've went from the darkest depths, and that could be very much, trauma, childhood trauma. That's where it often starts, a very bad trauma. But then you're going the full circle to dive into those bad experiences. The universe wants to compliment you, but then going up, I'm hearing that too, like you're going, shooting up. You see those, the carp is being played here, and I hear you went down to this horrible realm, but now you're shooting up to a high spiritual realm again, and they want to compliment the courage it takes a high-minded spiritual soul to come down to these realms, experience that. So they want to compliment you as a high spiritual being to do that, and then let's see what else. Let's see, we've got melody, and I'm hearing that because of the pain that you've taken on, it's almost like you feel like you felt that you've had a permanent melody. But I'm hearing that the new universal energies will help release that, so you don't feel like you're always a doctor. Interesting. They will be helping you to not feel like doctor and melody, not feel like you're always being in a melody emotional state, the doctor and melody. Interesting. So I'm hearing, yeah, like and I'm hearing also, just being as a high spiritual being, that just going down to this realm can actually make you feel emotionally sick, to the point. But it's like, but the truth is, and what I'm hearing is, it's not you. The fact that it's our sick world. That's what I'm hearing with Doctor and Melody, and I'm hearing that it's sort of like, yeah, Doctor and Melody. It's sort of like going down into this sick world, if you will, a high-minded spiritual being, sixth or seventh or eighth dimension, I hear. but it's sort of like going into this realm, in this dark realm. You can start to feel like there's something wrong with you, but the reality is, I'm hearing that there's something wrong with the world. Like there is surely something wrong with the world. It's and then I hear, because we start to feel sometimes as spiritual beings think, oh, is there something wrong with us? Like, because we're so affected. I hear that you're so affected by the evil in the world. Sometimes you can feel like you have a permanent malady, and I hear that you're getting better. They're complimenting you for choosing such a challenging life path, but also they say that now we're finally moving up to a higher, like we're actually, like what's going on in the world is not normal, but we're going up to a higher dimension now. So they're complimenting on you in that, and now you'll feel like the world is meeting where you, as it ascends like into a higher dimensions. It's sort of like you'll feel like you're meeting your true soul, who you are, when you, before you came down into this lower dense being. And lots of, yeah, and sorrow too. I feel a lot of sorrow. They feel, they compliment you for, I hear you dived deep into the energy of sorrow in this life, but now it's time to move up. And they compliment you for the courage to, like to dive into this mass of chaos and emotional pain. It has not been easy for you right here. But let's see if I can get my, I mixed faith, and I get faith. So faith is, there are no obstacles in your way. Follow your heart. The path is safe. The way ahead clear. Have faith. But I'm hearing that it's hard for you to keep faith. But keep faith. The world is going in a better direction, and you've shoveled some very and I'm also hearing some dark energies. I'm hearing you, and that's often what starseed and light workers do. They don't go into the best families. They go into the worst circumstances, or the worst. They dive head deep into those. But now I'm hearing it's time to move up. And moon goddess, a time of a necessary upheaval, a blessing in disguise. As the dust settles, the gift reveals itself. Interesting. Moon goddess. I'm going to read that again. A time of necessary upheaval, a blessing in disguise. As the dust settles, the gift reveals itself. So I see that you'll be like a fresh, bright person because you've had the courage to dive deep. I'm hearing it felt like you were just plunged into these horrible trauma in this life, but it's sort of like um, I'm hearing that, and then you've dived twice, once into the trauma, and then and second into the processing of the trauma. So I'm hearing that now you will be born anew after, and you will find your spiritual tribe, and they're complimenting you on diving, having the courage to dive into that. They're giving claps for that, for doing that, but they're hearing that, I'm hearing that, yeah, now you will have your rewards for the pain you dove into and the processing of it with the moon, and you're coming out of it, because the moon in reverse, you're coming out of this energy now, because oftentimes reversals are like it's coming out of it now, because it's about to release. It's really about to release and come out of the energy now. So yeah, that's what we've got. I think that's all we've got for Polymer 1, and yeah, I want to compliment you again for this, enduring the difficulties that you've gone through, having the courage, the compliments on your courage, and yeah, things will shift now with it, since the planet is shifting, and we're coming along with the ride with the planet, and that is a good thing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this message. Maybe give it a like or comment if it resonated, and maybe check out my other readings to see if they resonate with you. See if they resonate with you. All right, that's all we've got for pile number 1, and have a good day. Hello, pile number 2, the orange flashlighted pile. Orange is a very creative color, so let's see what we've got for pile number 2. Yeah, so compliments that the universe wants to give you. Okay, so we've got the 7 of Cups, the 3 of Pentacles, the Moon in reverse. Interesting. The other pile got the Moon as well too. The Lovers, and the Tower in reverse. Interesting. So my sense is like with the orange, with like with creativity, you're good at one compliment that what universe wants to give you um, is that you're good at ascertaining which idea is the best idea. Like you may be in, creativity may be a very strong part of your life. It may be part of your work, whether it's a hobby, and I'm hearing sometimes it is part of your actual work, but you're good at sifting through and having a keen eye of figuring out what is the best idea, what is the best creative idea. You're able to, even I'm hearing with, you're good at hiring people. That's an interesting to see. Or I see this image of you sifting through pictures and figuring out, okay, what's the best picture? Like if it's like an artistic, I saw an image of an artistic agency, even, but like figuring out, okay, what's the best, or what's the best model to use, or what's the best idea to use, or the painting. Like you're good at sifting. You've got a very eye for detail and an eye for looking. You see this person looking at all those options, an eye for looking at what is the best. And to hear that this creativity may be part of your work, or it may be a part of your hobbies, or it may be soon to bleed into your workplace. But you're very good at doing that, and that requires going into sort of esoteric state. So you're good at, you may not be aware of it, but the way that you're able to figure that out is by tapping into the collective that connects to your mind, as I hear. Like you're good picking up into the collective consciousness and figuring out, okay, what's the best idea, and also going to the collective consciousness. So your ability to figuring out the perfect idea and what is the perfect, zeroing in. I see this image of zeroing in on the perfect creative idea, the perfect option. I hear that you're also good. You have a very discerning eye. You can almost figure out who would be will work good together, either as a couple. You're good at picking that out, who maybe setting people up as couples, but also as friends, also seeing what would work well together, what would meld get well together, what would meld get it together. And I'm here saying you're good at figuring out what is the best creative, putting it all together, like in almost as a collage, or creativity, but also accessing the energy, going into the collective consciousness and figuring out the energies in the creative projects which would create the most love in the world. And also, I'm hearing, interesting, you're good at triggering people, but in a positive way. You're good at triggering people in some way, like triggering like them to see things from a different perspective. It could be through, like, you're good at figuring out people's psychology in order to like figure out what would trigger their best, the best, and you that kind of intermingles, like it's a separate thing, but it's also connected to, like, figuring out, because what you're figuring out, the best creative idea, oftentimes the best creative idea that you figure out is the one that would trigger people the most. And you have an eye for detail of figuring out, okay, what's going to connect together, what couples will connect together, which, I saw this image of art collages, like, or almost what photographs would fit together, and activate the most energies of love, but also the most energies of activation, spiritual activation in people. So you're good at doing that. I see as you can be a spiritual activator, even your energy field. Even if you're, I'm hearing in some cases it's just your energy field walking around. It tends to spiritually activate people. A good tower movement, I'm hearing, it causes people to go within. Like reversals can also mean going within. So it's sort of like you go within, and you can figure out, okay, um, what's the best idea for that? What's the best what's the word? Like just the best energy that would help people come to their own conclusions. But sometimes it's just your energy field, and sometimes people will get sometimes angry at you, not a lot, but on occasion for just seemingly no reason. There's also a word for it. I'm trying to remember. It's certain um hayokas, I think, or what's the word? I don't know if that's the right word, but it's people that go around, they have energy fields that activates people's mini awakenings, but sometimes people don't like that. So I'm hearing on occasion, and not a lot, but sometimes people can seem to get angry at you for absolutely no reason. And I'm hearing this is not your fault. This is just your activation, but then your activations come about with your art as well too. Your activations, they come about with your art as well too. They will come out with like just energies within your art, choosing what to use. And I saw this image, and I'm not quite sure what I'm picking up, but like almost an ad agency, modeling agency, or a, what do you call it? It could be also architecture agency, or some sort of artistic agency where you choose to what to put together, and that it activates the most love, the energies of love going into the sort of collective unconscious to create the most loving energies, but also the most activating energies. Interesting, interesting. So let's see what else we can get. What other compliments I can give you? This is interesting. You never know what you're gonna pick up, right? I choose the cards, put them in the pile, and it's exciting for me to see because I'm not always sure what's gonna pop up. But interesting. Accept what is. And I'm hearing that, and that sounds interesting because that's almost an opposite of the forced energy, because the person's always searching for something more. But I'm hearing from that is that you need to be confident in your ability to choose what is the right energies, because the compliments that I hear is that you're very good at this. So I'm hearing accept your choices as the best one in terms of this. Accept your choices as the best one. Interesting. Let's see if I can get any other messages. But yeah, I'm getting an interesting energy from you. That it's like, yeah, good at sifting, because there's so much below the surface. There's so much below the surface of energies and energies, and almost like, and then interesting. I went to the tarot. I mixed two decks together, right, and then I sift through. But I got death. So you're good at activating many deaths in people, and that's not actual deaths, like, but let's hope at least. But like sort of like minute, like I say, the power moment, but you almost like go around at, the death moment is a good thing. It's a very good card. It rarely means actual death, if ever. It's all about creating new um new energy. So I'm hearing that you're good at like creating through your creations, or just your energy field. You're good at creating mini tower moments and death moments of people of going on to the new, right? Going into the new, like sort of creating energy fields. I'm also hearing in some cases you may have like, you're good at figuring out what's actually going on in the world in terms of like conspiracies. If you, I don't know if I should use that word, you may have a YouTube channel to do with that, or some sort of blog to do with what's going on in the world, and that helps create mini death for people. I'm not sure if I could use the word conspiracy, but you know what I mean. That kind of energy of what's really going on in the world, and you're good at like activating that energy and waking people up through some sort of YouTube channel, or um, you know um, you're good at really seeing what's in the world, and ascertaining what that is, and then activating that creative the energy. You're good at shaking up people's world, and they need to have their world shaken up, right? That's often times what needs to happen, right? So you do, I hear some, you have some sort of YouTube channel or something. If it's not an artistic energies, it's like something, or a blog that helps activate people, because you're clear, you can see things. I see with this card, you can see things. So it's like you can, and then sometimes it goes the creative route, sometimes it goes the informational route. Interesting. So let's see what else. Okay, got 4 and 5. Sorrow, and I got that card before too. Sorrow and journey. I'm hearing, don't have sorrow. The journey is not in vain. Don't have sorrow. The journey is not in vain. Because sometimes I'm hearing, sometimes it feels, you feel kind of, you feel kind of, like sorrowful, like, oh, will the world ever get better? Will people ever wake up? Is my energy field ever sort of activating? And I'm hearing your energy field activates people, and the universe wants to compliment you on this. Like the energy, your energy that they're coming out with is definitely a piece of the puzzle. It helps reverberate in ways that you do not even know. It helps reverberate in ways that you do not. So do not have sorrow. Know that all is not lost, and that your journey has helped many people. So that's another compliment the universe wants to give you. And I think that's, yeah, that feels like that's all for pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe taking the energy, like I have these healing flashlights. So taking the orange energy is sort of like a healing, creative energy, because you're on the right track with that healing orange energy. But yeah, so maybe write a comment if you want to, and yeah, or maybe check out my other videos. I've got videos on karma, astrology, cats, dreams, like about dreams, and a whole bunch of different other subjects like dream analysis. So you can check that out in the playlist section, see if there's any other subjects that interest you, and maybe if you want to subscribe if you see that this channel has subjects that are of interest to you, because I do different big card readings on a whole bunch of different subjects. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good day. Hello, pile number 3, the yellow flashlight pile. Let's see what, last but not least, let's see what compliments the universe wants to give you. Okay, let's see. Just let me get a drink of water. I've been talking so much, and then I crave water. You've got 4 of swords upright, 5 of pentacles, 6 of swords, 8 of wands, and the 9 of wands. So I'm hearing a lot of different things, but I'm hearing that you have a wise energy, and it's not a childlike energy. It's an energy that knows when to speak and when not to speak. Like you're not one of those people that you're not one of those people who 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 says whatever. You're very selective about what you like, sort of what you tell people. You're not a blabbermouth. You don't you know when to rest and take a break from something. You have a sense of balance, of knowing when, sort of the right ingredients to add to a situation. You're not a people appreciate your what's the word? You're tempering. Saw the temperance card, even though it's not here popping up. Like it's sort of, you have a tempering situation, or tempering energy to the situation, where you're like basically, you know what to temper, how to temper a situation, and not to, like you're not the one to make, I'm hearing f things up in a situation. Like you don't f things up. I'm trying to find the word. Sometimes it's like when you're getting in the energy, it's like, how do I get the right words? But it's sort of like, that you're not going to say the wrong thing. So people appreciate almost a calming energy to you. And when a wise energy that people can go on to count that people can count on, and that you know when to say your piece, but you know when to go away. But I'm also not go away, but sort of go away from a situation type thing. So it's like a sense of balance and wisdom is what I'm hearing. The universe wants to compliment you about. But I'm also hearing, also there's a sense of balance and wisdom. There's a sense of knowing when to go into your full power. Because here, these 2 cards have or what do you call it, movement in them. See, the person's moving away. You know when to leave a situation, and you know when something. You have a keen understanding of when it's time to move, and to move with speed. So you have an assertive energy too. Of, yeah, I know when something's right for me. So you have a go-getter energy, but not a bad go-getter of, when someone's really obnoxious or aggressive. You know the tempering of when to be properly aggressive, powerful, and assertive, and when not to. So it's not one of these people that are like, like, what's the word? When they're really bludgeoning and obnoxious, and you've got a power, but it's not a, what do you call it, a unpleasant power. It's a power that is strong and move and of it's a movement that is of it's moving, and you know when to step into your power properly and appropriately is what I'm hearing. And you also, you have a keen sense, you know when something is finished, and you know when it's just begun. That's an interesting energy that I got. You know is when something is just begun, and when it's ended. Like, you have a keen sense of wisdom, but also a sense of power. Of it's a powerful wisdom that knows, when to seize the energy and move forward, like a sense of intuition of how to do that. And I'm hearing that you need to nurture yourself for sometimes, and sort of reflect sort of the balance between these two energies, to sort of they already are balanced, but almost to balance them further, if that makes any sense. Interesting. And I'm going to get some, but I do feel a lot of, like, sort of a powerfulness, but also a wisdom together. And I'm hearing in some cases, a child, you had this very much from a young child, like you had this energy, so you came in with it. It's not oftentimes things like people talk about, oh, a child, they learned it in childhood, which is true, right? Childhood is very, an important time, obviously, right? There's all sorts of stuff that goes on, and then that imparts on us. But I'm hearing that, but like the soul is the person that goes into the body, and you already had this before you were a child. Interesting. You already had this before you were a child. And reunion. And I hear that it's, yeah, again, of knowing, like you have this innate wisdom. When I'm hearing wisdom and power is what I keep on getting. Wisdom and power that you had since you were, but it's balanced, like, because the yellow is almost a childlike energy, but it's not like you're childlike, but it's like came in as a child. And it's sort of like, when to be very, like, you have a very powerful energy, but you also know when to, like, when to rest, stay away from the situation, and when to be powerfully assertive too. You know when to run away, not run away, but avoid the situation, and you know when to powerfully, assertively move towards something or confront someone even. You know when to do that, and you know the balance, because believe me, not everybody knows that balance at all. I know when, like, not everybody knows that, but you do, which is, I'm just reflecting now on how, like, it's something I never even really, like, well, thought of, or I did, I guess, but it's just sort of highlighting right now, like, the balance of when to move forward with power and when to not, when to rest. It's sort of like this sense of it's very important. I'm just sort of, I'm just sensing that, yeah, and like, just the importance of this energy is what I'm trying to say. I hope that came across clearly. But then also, you've got surprise. So it's sort of like, how to handle and weather, and you may not feel this way about yourself, but you know how to weather surprises. Like, you may not always like them, but you don't know how um, to sort of deal with them with wisdom and power, and knowing when to step back, and but I hear that when you step forward with power, boy, do you ever. And sometimes people don't know it's hit them, because they're not always expecting that from you. And I'm hearing surprise gift. Interesting. So surprise gift, I think here those are, that's a sort of an energy too. I'm hearing that, like, I'm hearing different things. I'm hearing how to, one compliment is that you know how to create good surprise gifts for people. But I'm hearing that in the future, you will, into yourself, will get a surprise gift of something that is really right for you, something that is very right for you. But it's like, that's what I'm hearing, is that in the future, but that's not really a compliment. That's more like a good karma reading. But we'll put that in there because that came up. I'm hearing you will get a surprise gift, and it's not necessarily, it could be a gift, but it's something very profound that you want, is a good karma. I know this isn't a good karma reading, but that just popped up. But I'm also hearing, is in terms of the compliment reading that we're doing, that you're good at giving people surprise gifts. So in terms of this reading, you're good at giving people surprise gifts that are good, like intuitively knowing, like I said before, intuitively knowing what those, a good gift, what a good surprise gift would be. But then you also know, like, and I'm hearing in the future for karma for you, because you give good surprise gifts, there will be a surprise gift of, it could be of various forms, and I'm hearing not to go into even what it is, but to know that there'll be some sort of surprise gift. It could be a person in your life. It could be something that would be very appropriate and positive for you. So that's a future or close future positive karma reading, a surprise gift that is extremely appropriate for you. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. What else can we? What deck am I drawn to now? I think I'm gonna go to my wisdom deck. I've got various different decks, and then I just intuitively pull from them. So I'm hearing forgive and forget. So I'm hearing either you're good at forgiving and forgetting, and that's a compliment for you, or it's something that you've developed the ability to do, and it hasn't been easy for you. So the universe wants to compliment, because those things that are difficult for us, the things, or when we overcome them, that is the greatest of compliments. So basically, forgiving and forget, like, you know what I mean, like, it's when something is difficult for us, the greatest compliment to us is when we overcome them, so live from your spirit and rejuvenate. So live from your spirit and rejuvenate. And so I'm hearing that's something you're either good at, or something maybe you need to develop, because sometimes it's sort of the rejuvenation, because between the wisdom and the power, there sometimes needs to be some rejuvenation between them. But I hear that you're, most of the time you're good with living from your spirit, maybe a little bit more rejuvenation, but I hear that you're good, you do have the balance between you and your spirit, and you've learned to forgive and forget, which is the greatest compliment, because if something's difficult for us to do and then we learn to do it, that is actually the greatest compliment, that we've actually learned to overcome it. Like, it may be something that's easy for somebody else, but the fact that it's been difficult for us, and that we overcome it, it's like it's like a compliment. If you learn to overcome something that's difficult, that's the greatest compliment, and the universe will give you the greatest compliments for that, if that makes sense. Um, let's see. I got three from the bottom. I mashed all these decks together. Let's see. I've got three. Dreaming of you. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Dreaming of you. I got this card. Dreaming of you. Someone you love will appear to you in your dreams. They reflect a part of you, a time of remembrance, a time of reflection and healing. So I'm hearing this as different things. This could be somebody, it could be somebody you're going to meet, but it could also be it could also be your future aspects. It's some part of yourself, your higher self aspect, that's guiding you, that allows you to have this wisdom and this power combined. So I'm hearing in some cases that what allows you to have this is sort of connecting to that fractured aspect of your, not fractured, I'm hearing it's a good part of yourself, but it's, in a sense, it's fractured. It's not, it's sort of in the higher realms. Therefore, it's, I guess it's not fractured, but it's like you're connecting to that part of you, and then you sleep and you connect to that realm in the dream realm quite a lot. And that's what allows you to have this power, because you're connected. And some people get cut off from that energy, but I hear you're not cut off from that energy. If you learned, or you've learned not to be cut off from that energy. So that is a definite compliment for you. And here, I'll find another card in the wisdom deck. Ooh. Let me shuffle it a little bit. Or maybe I'll go into I'm going to go into the tarot deck, and let's see what we've got here. So King of Swords, interesting, because that further reiterates what I was saying. Because the King of Swords is a very wise, clear, balanced person. He's very wise and clear, very balanced. He knows what is right, what is wrong. He's not overcome so much with emotions, but with clear logic power. He has a lot of power, like I said, knowing when to. He's kind of like, I think of him as being wise King Solomon. That's what I've thought of him sometimes. So it's like he's very wise, and he knows when to move forward with power, and he knows when not to. Like, he's very clear. He's got a strong, you see his head above the clouds. He has this sense of clarity. So that was the energy that I was picking up. The strong sense. The universe wants to. He also has a strong intellect. So the universe wants to compliment you on your strong intellect. You're knowing when to move forward and when to not. And when to speak, when to not, when to rest, when to not. I'm thinking of the Bible. Not that I'm, obviously I think, the Bible can be quite toxic, because it's been altered. But like there's a verse that says that, oh, the time to do this, a time to do that, time to. So the balance of when to do this, when to do that, when to do this, and yeah, believe me, not all people have that sense of balance. So you have that sense of balance, like almost like, yeah, like a Libra energy. Not that you're necessarily a Libra, but that sort of balance of knowing when to, of good taste. Balance and good taste um, is what you definitely have. A balance and good taste, and I hear you can feel sort of frustrated with the world at times, but you still maintain, despite that, you maintain your good balance and good taste, and your good wisdom, and your good balance of wisdom and power. So that's all we've got for pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed that. Um, Maybe make a like or comment if it resonated. Also, you can check out my other videos. I got videos on pick a card, or pick a card, like predictions, the next 72 hours, next week, predictions. I've got astrology, cats, pets, dream analysis, healing from narcissistic abuse, a lot of other topics, karma readings, a variety of different readings. So it's sort of like you can see those in the playlist section, and see if there's other videos that appeal to you, and decide if you want to subscribe to this channel. All right, thank you very much, and I hope you have a terrific day.